Hey everybody, good morning. It's Patsy, and I just wanted to do this. It's not really a reading. It's just some words of encouragement for today. As I was getting ready to do a private reading for a client of mine, I was drawn to use the Acts of Faith book by IyaEgunde, right? And this book is dated, but no years on it. So today's message for July 11th: your divine mate is seeking you, and you can only meet divinely. And that's a quote from Jewel Diamond Taylor. Your divine mate already exists. You're being prepared to meet one another. Through your many growth experiences and the purpose that is etched in your soul, the day will come when you will meet face to face. It will be crystal clear that this person is the right one. You will be touched in a place in your heart and soul that until that divine day has been untouched. So as you allow yourself to accept the reality that your divine mate does exist, it will unfold as a reality to you. You can stop looking, forcing, or trying to make things happen. You need not fret or worry or allow yourself to be lonely, because your divine mate already exists. You can stop looking for him or her. Instead, spend your time looking within. When you get to the place in yourself that is divine love, your true mate will be revealed. So the affirmation for today: my divine mate will be revealed to me in the divine way at the divine time. So that was the message for July 11th from this Acts of Faith. So this is about being whole within yourself, recognizing your masculine and feminine, your light side, your dark side, being able to understand your own faults, correcting ones that you can, and being aware of the ones that, even if you can't change it, just being aware of the faults makes you work towards it, or when someone points it out to you, you don't go off on them, right? Because you're already aware of it. They're not telling you nothing about yourself that you don't already know, okay? And that gives you back some power also, because people think that they can, like, take you down a peg or two by pointing out your faults. If you already know your faults, then what are they pointing out? You already know that about yourself, all right? So that's one thing. For some of you, you might want to remember when you are dealing with people, or even with yourself, you know, don't go flying off the handle about stuff that you know is true if somebody tells it to you or points it out to you about something. If this is not the first time you've heard this about yourself, you might want to give it credence. Now, if it's the first time you've heard it about yourself, that's when you use your own discernment. Is this person's motives for telling me this constructive criticism, or are they just trying to take me down a few pegs? I keep hearing that, and that's not a phrase I use often, but I do understand what it means, because some people live in a state of competition and confusion, I guess. And I know that during this journey, that has been an issue with so many relationships or connections, about someone a power struggle. And it's like If you defend yourself, then you're playing into the power to the gains. But if you don't defend yourself, then you're allowing yourself to be taken advantage of, right? So, dang, right. So it's a fine line to cross. It's duality, right? What is the best way to proceed? But if you keep it in your mind that no matter what's going on right now, it's just getting you ready for the end game. It's getting you ready for your service or your union or both. And don't allow yourself to get discouraged, right? Because you're discouraged about your union doesn't mean that you need to be discouraged about your work, even though it may be impacting it because you're tired, because you're confused, because you're sad, you're weepy, crying, you don't want to be talking to nobody, you want to just disappear off the face of the earth for a little while, take a little break, whatever. Doing all of that is important. But I'm just hearing to do work on you, and all things will be added to you. So I'll get a message from the ISIS cards. What is it that we need to know? Whoever's drawn to this message, just a message. Ooh. Life restored, prophetess of the phoenix. So this is rising from the ashes. Life restored. Wow, that's beautiful. Haven't seen that one ever yet, but I don't use these cards a lot out here in Tarot land. Shout out to the Ghetto Nun and Pretty Blind Eyes and Astro Queen. Thank you all for all the encouragement that you give to the collective. Among others, Water Baby Tarot, you know. But all of you all, you know who you are out there, and we're grateful for your guidance and your help and your assistance, your leadership. So let's look at life restored. All right. They're 98. Okay, 98. Page 98, life restored. Priestess of the Phoenix. Spiritual resurrection is gifted to you now. Whatever part of your life you thought to be dead is being revived and will flourish back into life, just as the phoenix rises from the fire, transitioning from death into life. So too will you rise again, healed and renewed. Life restored brings messages that a trauma, an ending, a struggle, or an apparent defeat is not the end of the story for you right now. What may appear to be an ending can sometimes simply be the forces of ancient feminine power flowing over into new pathways, pulling energy away from old forms so that they can transition into new forms. This can take short or long periods of time. It could be over days or years, weeks, months, decades. It doesn't matter how long something appears to have been decaying, it will spring back to life at the right time. Just as the river Nile suddenly adjusts its course over time, so too will the river of light that flows through you, filling you with life force and divine energy and moving with innate wisdom. You can trust what is happening for you now. Something important to you is coming back to life. It might even feel like you're coming back to life after a period of increasing emotional numbness, physical or psychological struggle, or spiritual disillusionment. It may also be a lifestyle, a practice, business or relationship, new or old, that's coming to life now. You are guided by the divine priestess of the Phoenix, Sister Isis, to turn your face to the sun. Just as the sacred scarab beetle follows the movement of the sun, you are encouraged to focus on the light and life that is seeking you right now. Do not resign yourself to the way that things have been. Let go of the past. Be brave and bold and allow the Phoenix priestess to inspire you to realize that the return to life, the restoration, the resurrection is upon you now. Have hope and optimism. Just because something has fallen away in the past does not mean it will not have value and be able to grow in the present moment. Take what is going on to be offered in your life, the rebirth that is happening, into your wide open arms now, and be assured that you have transitioned through the energies of death into new life now. Peace be unto you, initiate of the light. The past is over. Enjoy your rebirth. Ashe. Wonderful. So that's in keeping, right? Divine timing and rebirth. Rising from the ashes after all that you've gone through and all that you've been through. All the hurt, the pain, the education, the lessons, the rights, the wrongs, the missteps weren't really missteps. They were just part of the lesson. Sometimes the lesson feels good and sometimes it doesn't feel good at all. Most of the time it doesn't feel too good. But then we don't notice the good times because it feels good. So why would we complain or speak about it? That's about being grateful. That's why you have to have gratitude in the good times and the bad times. Acceptance and appreciation and acknowledgement of the lesson, the good lessons and the bad lessons. Remember, when you are searching yourself, it's not just about the bad things that happen to you. What about all the good things? What about all the people that were there for you, besides the folks that may have abandoned you? But a lamb in the bush, a lamb in the bush. There were times when you know that you were provided with a lamb in the bush. Something, somewhere you weren't expecting, you were about to do something that you may not have thought that you wanted to do or that you were confused about, or making a sacrifice that you weren't um, enthused about making. Talking about like Abraham and Isaac in the Bible scriptures, if you know that story, where Abraham was told by God to sacrifice the child that he had given to him and his wife in their old age. And Abraham was obedient and took his son with him up to the altar to sacrifice. And as he was getting ready to start, he heard God say, because you were obedient and because I saw how willing you, not willing, but you were obedient to the word. This is just a test. That's not what it says in the Bible, but God pointed out to him, okay, take that lamb or ram that I have provided there, and you make that sacrifice so that you get to hold on to your son whom you love and whom I gifted to you. So for some of you, that may be a situation where you feel you have to give up something in order to get something or in order to be obedient to God. But just the willingness, okay, just the idea that you're willing to make that sacrifice, to go all the way. Okay, so maybe for some of you, This is saying, don't be afraid of the sacrifice, because something will be provided in that place. Or for some of you, you'll be able to retain what it is that you thought you were sacrificing and still get the blessing that God had in store for you that you didn't know was coming. But you were just working in tandem with spirit. You're being obedient to the word, and you're being humble and grateful and appreciative and faithful. So for those of you who any of this makes sense to, basically it's just saying, have a willing and open heart to be obedient to the word, and know that your sacrifices and your work is not being ignored, even if it's being ignored on the 3D by someone in particular, or by something, your job, whatever, family members. When you're doing the best that you can, the same message I'm hearing is, this is between you and God, nobody else. You know what God promised you, and God does not break their promises, right? But God doesn't break her promise. And it may not come when you think it needs to come, but it's going to come when it's supposed to come. Because everything is divine timing and divine order, right? And that's what it said here. Your divine mate will be revealed to, my divine mate will be revealed to me in a divine way at a divine time. That also could mean, for some of you, things about your divine mate you may learn, and it'll be revealed to you as time goes on. Things that you may not have known, things that you may have ignored. But all things will be revealed to you. And this morning I got this church song, which is not one that I was really familiar with, but I've learned over the years from being an Eastern Star. You come this far by faith, leaning on the Lord, trusting in His holy words. He hasn't failed me yet. Oh, can't turn around. We've come so far by faith. Yeah, you come this far by faith, trusting in the words that has been given to you, personally and particularly. And just know, divine timing is at play, and you are whole, you're good enough, you just need to believe, trust, have faith, and watch miracles. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys. Hope you are having a great day, a great weekend, and I love you all right? And thank you for your patience. Peace. I say.